Hello and welcome to the second video I'm producing all about communication. So in our last episode we briefly discussed emotional intelligence and why it's so important and it's such a key foundation for the fundamentals of communication. So one of the 5 things that makes up our emotional intelligence is self-awareness. So I'd really like to build on what that is and why it's so important. So self-awareness, it's quite simplistic and obvious to define, but it's having a consciousness about one's own character and feelings. So why this is so important is that if we're going to communicate via the written word or face-to-face or through video these days, we really have to have a key understanding of who we are and how we feel. So to really bring this example to life, Australian audiences are maybe not so familiar with, but I know a lot of Americans know Helen Keller, who was actually both blind and deaf from the age of 19 months old. But she went on to be the first person to get a Bachelor of Arts degree and from no less than Harvard University. But what's really incredible is that it was she was about 5 or 6 when she was finally given a teacher who taught her how to communicate and taught her language. And so it's very moving to read about how she described being a person with just emotions but no way to communicate with the outside world, how she felt really boxed in, and really the opportunity she had to learn to communicate with language with other people completely opened her up to the rest of the world and even to help define her own sense of self. So it goes to show that language and communication is linked very deeply to who we think we are. So of course, to be able to take what we feel inside and to project that out is one of the first steps to be able to communicate the way we want with other people. So if it's something you're not so comfortable with, a good exercise you can do is to, if you have just a spare 5 or 10 minutes, to sit down and really focus on a memory that you have, one that particularly evokes a lot of emotion, and see if you can actually translate it into writing. So to type it out, write it out however you'd like, because oftentimes when we feel emotions, they're immaterial, you can't quite put a finger on it, and you experience them, you don't communicate them so well. So if you do this on a regular basis, you'll see how if you're able to translate complex emotions into words, the simpler ideas that you want to convey in a business meeting or what you want for lunch will become much, much easier. So there's a very strong interplay between psychology and language and communication. So we'll look into that particularly in our next videos. So please let me know what you think in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.